I'm Edie Lush, Executive Editor of Hub Culture. Really pleased to be joined here on the final day of Davos by Bryan Lewis. He's the Chief Investment Officer for U.S. Steel. Delighted to have U.S. Steel as a partner with Hub Culture here in Davos.
Our pleasure. Happy to be here.
So before we get to some of the issues that you were speaking about here in Davos and focusing on, I'd love to just talk a little bit about your background. Tell us a little bit about your career journey, where you've come from.
Thank you so much. Originally from North Carolina in the U.S., and I'm proud to say a child of a high school educator and a government employee. Those humble beginnings really laid the foundation for me to want to be of service to society. And so it's through that example which led me to my current career.
Interesting. But you spent quite a lot of time looking at pensions as well, right?
Yes.
For the state. Is that right?
I did. And so I started my career in the private sector, working for many of the names that individuals would know. But really, this combination between financial education, financial stability led me to work for 3 different state pension plans.
Okay, and tell me what you learned there.
I learned that there's a tremendous amount of commitment to making society better. But what I also learned is that having your own personal and family secure financial situation helps drive change in communities.
There's something else that, in speaking to you this week, that I hadn't really thought of, which is that an approach to risk and how you deal with risk can actually be incredibly helpful and can help make your family safe. Just talk me through that.
Absolutely. When people think about risk, it's generally around insurance, or they think about how to protect their own personal safety. But for us, financial safety and the ability to participate in financial markets not only allows people to be financially secure for themselves, but also help provide security for their local communities through partnering with nonprofits, NGOs, having the ability to volunteer and make a commitment to the next generation. In my opinion, all starts with financial security at home. Interesting.
So you moved from working for pension funds, organizing pension funds for the state.
Correct.
I'm not using the right words, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
To working for U.S. Steel. And that was quite a journey because you had some challenges there when you got there. Is that right?
Absolutely right. Well, U.S. Steel's pension was actually started in 1914, and it was quite innovative at the time. Coming out of the turn of the century, the Industrial Revolution, the employer, U.S. Steel in this case, decided they wanted to provide financial security both while working but also post-retirement via pension. So in 1914, U.S. Steel and Carnegie Pension Fund was created, and it was quite innovative at the time, not only for the financial security, but because it was a separate legal entity from U.S. Steel, the parent company. What that provides is an opportunity for complete independence and fiduciary responsibility and focus on the participants and their families. Over this period, this organization has been able to provide not only the financial and medical security for thousands of individuals, but also help communities as well through our work.
Interesting. So, and you had to deal with the issue of risk there too, right?
Absolutely. One of the balances in a very dynamic and global economy is how do you remain competitive but still focus on a key input, which is your employee. And so with a pension plan, we are long-term investors and focused on the life of the individual. When I joined U.S. Steel, we were not fully funded. We were about 90% funded, but through the efforts of me, my team, and a strong senior leadership, we're now fully funded, which means we have enough assets to be able to pay for our participants and families' benefits in perpetuity.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great because that's my why. My why is providing financial security and reducing the risk to the individuals that work so hard to make our country great.
So it's interesting because it actually ties pretty well into this one of the themes that you were exploring here in Davos, which is investing in a sustainable future. We're not going to have a sustainable future if we don't invest in sustainably in our people.
Absolutely. Those sustainable and very dedicated employees have been able to drive a lot of the innovations that we come to know and take for granted in how we use steel in everyday life. I mean, whether it's you drive a car or you have an appliance or you've been in a skyscraper ever, steel is all around us. And as we go from that era of steel making to now being more environmentally friendly, again, it's these hardworking and dedicated, sustainable, lifetime committed employees that have driven that change.
How do you future-proof that? That was another theme for you this week.
Yes, so when we think of future-proof, it's another way of saying this is a part of our growth strategy. This is a part of our process of continuing to innovate and be a good corporate citizen. But we have a new stakeholder, as many of our partners have realized, it's Mother Earth. So what's good for the customer, what's good for the community, what's good for the company, it's also good for the world.
Interesting. Any story you want to tell me just along that lines as you're thinking about what's good for Mother Earth?
So as we think about the ability for steel to be used many times over without losing its strength through recycling, instead of using the traditional process of creating steel
Which uses a lot of coal.
And a lot of mining in the process. Now we're able to make the same strength or even stronger steels by recycling existing product and putting it in things that reduce carbon emissions like electric vehicles. And so this non-grain oriented steel is a future proof investment of a product that we see in cars every day.
Interesting. What's your takeaway from Davos? What are you going to take home?
I'm going to take home a drive and motivation from not only the partners that Hub Culture was able to bring together and provide me with inspiration, but also the idea that anything is possible. With the right collaboration and hard work, we can change the world.
Thank you so much, Bryan, for your partnership here at Hub Culture this week in Davos.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Edie Lush.